Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monza. We're here for Tier 2, and we have about 12 people in the lobby. And we're about to get our 13th. The Slam Man, so the two goats of Oceania racing commentary of Slammer and Scotty are in tonight. So gonna be an exciting one to watch them race. I also think there is two Red Bulls. There are two Red Bull boats called Sebastian King and A-Dog. So up the boats. How many times are we gonna call Red Bulls the boats? Well, we don't know. And also something I don't know why that isn't transform. Screen. There we go. I just realised that the stream wasn't up properly, so apologies for that. If you're in the chat, let me know how my volume is. Let me know if you can hear the game volume. Everything should be all good. If not, let me know and I'll attempt to do something. I don't know how good at it, but you know, we'll attempt. I don't know what I'm doing. Do I ever know what I'm doing? Like, honestly. Like, the amount of times people know me, and they just know how donkey I can be. Like, do we really expect anything from me? Well, we have some movement in the Red Bull garage. So, that's what we love to see. Hide UI. That's the one I want. That one. Yeah. We're getting there. We have, I think it was Seb. It was Seb. Look at that. Alright, let's ride on board with this beautiful man. And hide UI. There we go. F6. Jump to broadcast cam. And we're gonna see how Seb goes around for the first lap. Hello to Joshua, I see you in the chat. We saw Tier 1 last night, and there was a late safety car. Not much really happened in Tier 1. But Tier 2 should be a bit more exciting. I'm expecting some possible shenanigans from some drivers. There's a certain person in a McLaren who will not be named that I plan on putting the curse on because he doesn't deserve any luck. Alright, on board here with the King, Sebastian King, as he comes into flying down the main straight here into T1. Want to take that inside curve, just nicely touching that outside curve, and then gets on the power, burn the battery out of the corner, and just stick to get out of the car, getting out of his way there as he comes through Curva Grande, up through the gears, up in 8th gear, and then brakes. There's a little bit of an exit road, and you're braking just after the exit road. A little bit of lock up there, but hits the apex beautifully into the first chicane. Now through Lesmo 1 here. Hits that apex beautifully on the inside, runs a little bit wide on the exit of Lismo 1, Lismo 2 on the exit, DRS open on the power, and foot to the floor as he comes up to the Ascari chicane. Through the Ascari chicane around the 75 meter board, and then through the chicane. I feel like that was a little bit messy. He probably could have nailed that one a bit better, but as he comes down the back straight into the Parabolica, or now known as Alberto, I think it is. Let's change the corners. And then opens up here, sticks to the inside, and the first time on the board is a 118.841 for the Red Bull driver. And hopefully we should, I saw that Slammer joined. Yes, so Slammer joined a Williams. So we've got 14 on the grid now, so very, very exciting. Should be a bit of a spectacle here tonight. Lorenzo Bro puts in a 119.4. And we'll jump back on. Who's the next? There's a hat. I think that's Botanical. That is Botanical. Is he? It says he's on a lap, so we'll see what Botanical can do here as he comes around the final corner. Actually, with the other hat, JK. And Nigel at 118.801. Nice lap here. Botanical goes in behind his teammate. So Nigel at 118.8. Very, very nicely done by the RB. Botanical just forgets what he forgets how to brake. Let's go to this bot. This is the person who I'm cursing all night for a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys didn't get that from the opening, it is this one. He is the head commentator in most leagues, but still, we can give him as he sets a 120.7, and then Zilla a 118.389. Nice lap from him, and there's a Bevo who was going very slowly. Maybe Bevo. He's going very slowly because he's in the gravel trap. We have... Who was the other person I wanted to jump on board with? Ah, the person in P7. As he hasn't validated his lap, and I didn't realise he didn't validate his lap. So, actual boat things, but I think he's going again here. He is going again here. So we'll see what he can do here. And I'm pretty sure this is A-Dog. I could be wrong, but he was practicing before. And you know what? Just to double confirm that this is A-Dog, I'm just going to... Yes, this is A-Dog. Right. I'm not losing it. I promise. I've had enough caffeine today. But into Lesmo 1 here. We'll right on board with him. What can do into Lesmo 2. He had some very in-depth coaching for about 4 laps about 20 minutes ago. So you take that as you will, but we'll see what he can do here. He's currently sitting P8. He's got a decent... He's got A time on the board. He comes through the chicane, nice on the exit there. As he now makes his run down into the final corner. What can the man from Milton Keynes do, or Perth, Western Australia do? He improves, stays 8th. As the man, the myth, the legend, Slammer goes up into P4 with a 118.984. Love that for him. I'm going to jump on board with Gotti as he just improved, I think. Or he's... Yes, he just improved. So he moved up to 10th there. Just behind his teammate. We've got Botanical on an out lap. And he has a McLaren right up his clacker. If that's the McLaren of... It is. So, he's on the lap here. Botanical, Voida Cornet. Or Voida Corner? I don't know. The other McLaren. I don't even know who the other McLaren is, to be fair. As the other McLaren goes P10 at 119.743. Nice lap. It is, to be fair, I am talking out of my rear end here because there's 8 minutes in quali, and it's not until the last 2 minutes that really matter. Because that's when the best laps get put in, unless there's rain forecasted, but I don't think there is. And some people don't know they just want to get back to the pits and just forget that racing rules exist, but you know, potato. Jump on board here with Simo as he's about to start his first lap. Open his DRS as he comes to the line here and flies down the main straight as there's a very, very slow Sauber coming out of the pit lane. Into turn 1 here. He goes over the turn 1 curve very nicely. Looked a little bit squirrely on the exit there as Bevo has retired as he came out of the pits. And he's left the session. Rep. If anyone has any questions, hashtag ask Venti. Or because some people don't know who my actual name is, I haven't kept it a secret, but some people had to play a guessing game last night. Hashtag ask Venti or Cohen, whatever one, or Corn if you want to use my nickname, because when you try and spell my name, it autocorrects to Corn. That's just a thing that happens. Very unfortunate. Where can Simo do? Can he do better than a 122.7? Because then he'll beat Bevo, as Bevo has rejoined the session. Simo comes to the line. He goes P6 with a 119 flat, practically. Seb starts his next lap. This will be his second last lap, I'm assuming, unless he invalidates into turn 1, but he doesn't, so we'll see what Seb can do here. Can he take back P1 from Zilla? And who else is on a lap? I feel like Slammer's on a lap. Slammer's on an invalidated lap. There is the other Red Bull, no, who is that ahead of him? Is that Nigel? That is Nigel. What can Nigel do here? Can Nigel go back? He takes back P2, a 118.4. Aussie goes up into P4. Slammer comes into the pits. We'll jump back on board with Seb as he comes down on his time. Absolute boat. Gets out of the way there for the 5th, no, 7th. Cash Max, where does Cash Max jump himself up to? 5th. So the gap at the top there is 31 tenths. I think I'm saying that right. Yes. So between Nigel and Zilla, and then the gap between, it's about 1/10 between Seb and Zilla. Seb and Nigel. And there's Scotty on a lap, I think. He moves up to 12th. Monza moves himself up into P13. Scotty has retired from the session. That's into the pit lane. I'm assuming he doesn't think he's doing any better. Or did he crash into... I don't think he crashed into the pit lane. He would have just retired. Well, fair enough then. Botanical is on a lap. He's on an invalidated lap again. He's not having a fun time out there by the looks of it. what about the person in... I was just trying to get to him. The other McLaren jumped himself up into P8 on 119.215. So everyone inside the top 11 were in a 119 up until the top 6, and then into the 118. And we have Zilla out on a lap. So Zilla comes into the second sector here. Runs very wide out of Lesmo 1. I'm assuming Zilla's just on a... They do seem to be burning. No, Zilla's just doing a double warm-up lap. Right. Zilla comes into the pits. He's going to be pushing it to get out in time. And then the other Aston of Simo coming out. To set his final lap time. Can he improve from P7? Can he get into the 118? I need to find about 6/10 to get into the 119, into the 118. As Seb now comes on his outlap, so everyone else, it will be Seb, followed by the Ferrari of Aussie, then Cashmack, and then the other Haas. Want to keep an eye out on, and then Nigel's out. Want to keep an eye on those top 6, to be fair. So as Simo comes around the final corner here to go on to his final lap, what can he do here? Opens the rear wing as he comes down in the straight 8th gear, and where does he brake? Brakes just after the 100-meter board. Very nicely, very rough through the first chicane there, but around Curva Grande. Up through the gears, sticking it on the inside, keeping it nice and tight, and then coming up into the second chicane. Right just after that little entry road, missing the first apex, but able to get it back in for the second around Lesmo 1. Nicely done in tight for Lesmo 2. On the throttle out nice and early. DRS open up into 8th gear. Foot flat to the floor as he comes into the Scary chicane, braking just around the 75-meter board, touches that inside curb, and then lets the nature of the curves and the cars do the work there as he comes through the chicane. We've got some cars just doing some weaving up ahead, but they should be all good as he now approaches the final corner. Brakes, starts to put the brake pressure around 50, comes out the final corner here, sticks it tight, and Simo to the line does a 118.7, so he improves up into P5. What about Seb? He is down on his time from what it looked like, but we'll see, can he muster anything in this last sector? He'll need to absolutely find a miracle if he wants to get pole here. If not, we're going to jump to Aussie. As Seb comes off the final corner, what can he do? Does he improve? He does not. What about Aussie? What's Aussie up? Aussie is not up. Alright, so we'll jump to Nigel. He's coming around the final corner here now. Where does Nigel, does he take pole position back? He does not take pole position back, a 118.410. This is best lap time. What about Zilla? Zilla has made more improvements on his lap as he comes into the final chicane. Any big movers? No, Slammer stays at 8th. Cashmas, the Simo, he'll pretty much stay there unless someone pulls out a lap of dreams, and Zilla goes even faster with a 118.172. That was a lap and a half from Zilla. And then the McLaren qualifies 14th. So, qualifying done. And people are dropping out of the session like flies here. Don't know what's happening there. But what a lap there from Zilla. He takes pole. So here is our drivers. So Zilla from Nigel, from Seb, from Aussie, Simo, Cashmash, Lorenzo Bro, Slammer, the other McLaren, Botanical Bot, Ghost Rider, A-Dog, Scotty, and then Monza, and then Bevo is the last one. And he had some troubles there in qualifying. So the strat here, if people are committing to a 2-stop bar, it is hard to med, unless there's a late stage car like we saw last night in T1, and then it's like 3 laps on the stop type thing. So the safety car came out lap 27, I think it was. Sorry, no, lap 24. So we'll see. Some people just their setups and strategies. Underfeeling. I'm assuming there might be a little bit of underfeeling, because I'm expecting some people are expecting carnage to arise. But we will see. We'll see what happens. Early predictions for the race. Who is Zilla gonna win? What do you reckon is gonna happen here? I do think Zilla's on for a good one, but here we go. We've got 3, we've got 4, we've got 5, and it is 5 red lights, and away we go here. As Seb gets a great move up there. As they all come down here, we'll wait until we get through the start here before I add everything, because there's some front wing going off. Bit of carnage through the back there as Aussie has to cut the chicane. He cut the chicane, and a bit of chaos at the back. Ghost Rider, Simmons up to 4th. Zilla was able to get through there all cleanly. Aussie made a move up on Seb. Well, he did cut the corner, but he's given the position back, and Seb goes side to side. Any contact, Seb gets a better exit, and Seb back up into P2, and he now needs to try hunt down, as there's some chaos at the back. Is what I thought. The skill issue. All right, let's get up everything here. So what we want is the interval detail. So position changes. Nigel down 6, Botanical up 4, big moves on lap 1, tyre, full track map right here, there we go, and then hide UI. So, everyone on the meeting except for Nigel and Monza, they're going for the alternate strat of hard to medium. We'll see if that pays off. Monza is 9 into the pits, I'm assuming for front wing damage. And we'll go down the field, and who was that I saw making a move? I think it was Slammer has dropped behind, is on the back of Ghost Rider. All the issues there is Bevo's going side by side. With the other Red Bull as they come into the first chicane. The Red Bull gets the better exit. And then Bevo had a little thought about it going up the inside there. Decides best of it. Back up front, Zilla has a 2.6 second lead over Seb. I'm assuming Aussie is in the DRS. Yeah, a bit of a DRS train there forming as they come through the Ascari chicane here. A beautiful shot that was there. As Bevo gets past Slammer, and Slammer's gone at a bit of a shocking opening few laps here. Which is not what we like to see. And Zilla again, fastest lap there. Jump here to the McLaren as he's on the back and actually jump back on board to Simo. As Simo looks to make a move up the inside of Lorenzo. He does one, nearly tries to get the other Ferrari, does not. And who's that? That is the Red Bull of A-Dog and Bevo going side by side through turns 1 and 2. Slammer's into the pits, I'm assuming another unfortunate event happened there for Slammer. We'll jump back up board. We'll run board with this battle for P3 for the time being. You will see, and there's a couple of boys here who've done some practice for Monza, and they would they know what the strat is. But it's definitely medium to hard. I'm pretty sure I said in qualifying, I said it's hard to medium, but it's medium to hard. Here goes Simo on Aussie. Moves himself up into P3. As these Astons absolutely flying out in front. As Simo's gotten one Aston. Can he get the second? Can he get the other Red Bull? He's got the DRS, and there it is. It's an Aston 1-2. The Red Bull boys are chasing the Astons in the constructors, and at the moment, it's not looking too good for them because the Astons are leading out in front, 1 and 2. So, not good, not good, not good. We'll see if there anyone else looking about. There's Cashmash on the back of Scotty the Hottie. What is Cashmash doing here? We'll jump on board with him. As Lemma gets past Nigel, I think. What happened there? Yes. So we'll see, can Cashmash make a move as who was Ghost Rider? Just, I don't know if that was lag, but it looked like, yeah, no, that did actually happen. He just got a bit of a rough exit there and swerved off into the wall. So we're about to see Ghost Rider into the pits. I would imagine. Yep, Ghost Rider into the pits for a new front wing and a change to the hard. We have Simo on the back of Seb. I didn't realise Seb got past him. I'm assuming that was just another trade down the main straight. We'll jump back up to him. Anything happening? Not really taking that gap out to Zilla, but Zilla's not really pushing that gap out any further, as it looks like Simo has lost all of his ERS. So he'll be on the recharge. we will. Oh, so it's got an ad here, unfortunately. So Simo gets back past Seb. He'll go back into recharging mode there. And we'll jump on board with him, see how this lap goes. And yeah, he's just trying to burn to get away from Seb, trying to break that DRS, but it's not really going to be happening. He's also punishing his tyres a lot more than he really wants to. He's trying to break away from Seb, but Seb just being a pain in his backside. And the kind of the top four there are all kind of top. Well, from second to fourth, they're all kind of just stuck together here, with Zilla just a little bit out, as now Simo has cut into it a bit. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. I excuse myself. Botanical here. Botanical looked like he had a great run there. Actually, Scotty the Hottie coming out of the Escaro chicane. Anything happening back here? Let's see, he's very close to the back here of one of the Hassans. One of the Hassans seems to be flashing there. We'll see Scotty as Aussie comes into the pits, calls it early. So he's going to try and get the undercut. Where will he'll probably come out, what, ahead of Ghost Rider, I'm assuming. That will be what, yes, he'll come out ahead of Ghost Rider there. The Cashmax, you know, he did not do anything, neither did Seb. So nothing really happening down the main straight. Anything out of the exit? No, so Aussie came out in 11th there. He also got a 10-second spin into the pit lane, which is not ideal. Seems like a bit of a skill issue. And if someone tells me to go do it better, I will say no. I can call people skill issues because I've done like 2 laps on this game. And that's about it. And that's simply because I wanted to. So like I said multiple times, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. And I'm here to call people boats, tell them they can't park there. And just to have a good old laugh. As we're going to see Monza go side by side with the RP and trying to go around the outside of Scotty. And Scotty's going to say, yeah, no, that's not going to work. As the McLaren is into the pit, and so is Scotty. So, McLaren, Botanical, and Scotty all into the pits. Monza up into P5. He finally gets past Cash Match, and then bit of a rear lock-up. As now the top. So, I don't know if he's still in DRS range here. We're about to see. I think Seb has been out of DRS. But yeah, looks like that gap is more than 1 second. Yes, that gap is more than 1 second. So unfortunately, the top 3 are not in a DRS train, but they are within touching distance. But we'll see, assuming Zilla is slowing down here to let Simo get in his slipstream, so they have DRS and they can kind of just use DRS together and run away from the field. You know, it's always going to be hard when a team's running 1 and 2. You can kind of just have them play rear gunner if someone has better tyres, X, Y, Z, whatnot. These boys are probably talking to each other. So it's going to be a bit of a no man's land here for Seb unless we see a safety car, which, you know, could happen. Some of the boys have pitted. Those hards may not get up to scrap, and if people try to push them too early, you can always see a bit of a grilly exit happen. I do like the. I don't think he's kind of just sitting on the back waiting until he pits. A lot of these boys did pit early. the pit stop window is, like from lap 7 to around lap 12, depending on how good your tyre wear is. So there are some people, I'm expecting the boys within the top 8 who were yet to pit. They will be probably, it wouldn't surprise me if Seb attempts to go for the undercut. Simo, so Zilla coming in. So I'm assuming we would now see Seb come into the pit this lap as well. And where does Zilla come out? I'm assuming Zilla he'll want to come out behind Aussie. But we will see. Could come out a bit. It's going to be close between. If he comes out ahead of Aussie, which is what he wanted. So good pit stop there by the Aston and the in-game Aston Martin, and Zilla able to get out as Cashmash now comes into the pits as well. So we'll jump back up to see what Simo does. Assuming he'll be coming in this lap as well. And does Seb try to go for the overcut? I don't think he will. I'm pretty sure rather both of the leaders will come in this lap. I could be wrong. No. Simo's in. Is Seb in? He's stuck into the inside there. Seb's in. So, unfortunately, this boat's going to inherit the lead. How on earth do we allow this to happen? Disappointed. Chat, I'm disappointed. Please say this is going to happen. Zilla's going to come out. I'm assuming he's going to come out back in second. Yeah, so with everyone pitting, he comes back out in second. So when Monza eventually pits, he will have the lead. A-Dog is just a cork in the bottle here. Just absolutely, everyone come out and he's right there and he's just in everyone's way. Assuming the best thing, try hold up Simo the best you can. Defend like a lion. Defend like a lion. As a wise Fernando Alonso once said, as we have a yellow flag, it seems to be a bit of a boat of Nigel. The A-Dog did what he could there. Our first 3 seconds is for Ghost Rider. Actually, our second, because Aussie cut the first chicane at turn 1. And now I'm assuming we're going to see big boy A-Dog into the pits. Yep, A-Dog into the pits. Still with the fastest lap of 121.2344. Step moves back in order. So Aussie's made up a really good position there by pitting a little bit early. He's able to sneak up into P3. So he was one of the first ones out of the top runners to pit. Seems to be doing quite well. We're about to reach our halfway mark. You know, halfway through lap 13 is really the halfway mark, I guess you'd call it. Let's go on board with Scotty the Hottie here. He's on the back of this little train here for P6 here. Kenny making a move. It seems like Lorenzo Bro's going to try and make a move on the hack. He thought about sending it up the inside there. Wasn't able to get it. He's on the rear end. He's going to sit on it. He's going to sit on that and then try and make the move down into Roberto, I would assume. No, gonna sit in the DRS. Maybe make that move down the main straight as the Simo and Aussie side by side. Simo gets past, back up into P3. And go back to Lorenzo. Did he get the move done? He did not get the move done. And who comes into the pit? Slimmer comes into the pit. Slimmer into the pit for a set of another medium. Hard. Really happening in this battle here just seems the most exciting thing. Both have DRS. Lorenzo goes to the outside. He got he just didn't have enough room there. The most exciting of the bunch. But we'll keep an eye on Aussie. He's still in the slipstream there with Simo, but he is on 7-lap old hards. So we'll see anything exciting happening here. And on board with the Ferrari of Lorenzo, he's going for it. He's gonna think about it. Going to move to the outside. Oh, late send on the inside, and there was a bit of carbon fibre. Bit of carbon fibre going everywhere. And that battle continues on. And also, Cashman, is that Cashman? No. Scotty, is, getting a little bit wriggly on the back there. And the two boys up front, the Botanical and Volder, just do not have to worry about it because the, no. Volder doesn't have to worry about what's happening behind him because these two are just fighting each other. Watching that gap up top. Doesn't really look like anything's happening, so we're just going to stick on board here. See if you're in the chat and you aren't racing, if you guys watched the Austin Grand Prix, what did we think of it? What do we think of the Austin Sprint? I feel like the Austin Sprint was a lot more exciting than the Austin GP. As we come down in turn 1 once again, nothing happening. Are we excited for Mexico? Also, who do we think's winning the actual championship? Do we think Oscar can hold on and win it, or do we think Max is getting his 5th? Because at this rate, Max is getting his 5th. With the McLaren. The unfortunate thing about the McLarens winning the Constructors so early on, right? And now that they only have the Drivers' Championship, is because the team don't really care what happens anymore. Because they can't lose the Constructors' Championship. They've already won the money from the Constructors' Championship. That's in the bag. That's what they want the most. There's the Constructors' Championship. It's just on. We'll go back to it, see what happens. Is he gonna go? Just getting a bit antsy here, starting to put his nose down the inside where he thinks he can, and he had a great run off the corner exit of the Scari here. Is he gonna think about going into? I wouldn't think so, because you would lose DRS. I don't know why they haven't put a DRS zone down into the final corner there. I feel like it would be top tier place to have it, but you know, is what it is. Come down the main straight once again. Is it gonna happen? No, but Cash Max is gonna get it done on Scotty, unless he absolutely locks up, has a lock up of the century. Scotty got a little bit squirrely on the exit there. Can Scotty send it back up his inside? He's still, no, he cannot. Alright, anyway, as I was saying, as I was yapping on about, Yeah, the McLaren bosses don't really care. But Zach Brown wants Lando to win because Lando's been the talent. He's been there since 2016 or 2017 whenever Lando signed with McLaren. And then obviously Andrea Stella, he wants Oscar to win because he's the one that fought for Oscar to come to McLaren. So it's going to be an exciting one. I feel like it's just going to be a McLaren civil war, and that Max is just going to capitalize on this. And like Max said, Max couldn't care. It's a flip of a coin. It's rather he wins it or he doesn't. And at this rate, he is chipping away at it. We'll just see what he can do. It would be phenomenal if he did win it. I would absolutely laugh because you could not then say, "Oh, Max isn't the XYZ," because it would just put Max's. He's already in that GOAT conversation. It would just further cement him in that GOAT conversation. Cash Max gets past Lorenzo, bro. So now he's up in behind his teammate. So there really goes that battle pack. I guess it kind of dies off. Bevo's on the back of A-Dog here. P12 as Botanical gets a 3-second time penalty. We'll have a quick look at the penalties. Spectator menu. Detail. Stop. So this is the stops. Nigel's had 3 stops. Clemens had 2 stops. Everyone else is on the 1 stop. Penalties. 13 seconds for Aussie. He did get a 10-second speed into the pit lane. And then he has a 3 seconds for corner cutting. Botanical 3 seconds for corner cutting. Ghost Rider, I'm assuming, has 2 3 seconds for corner cutting, and then Nigel has a 10 seconds for pit lane. Position changes. Simo up 3. Seb is back to where he started as Aussie comes into the pits. As a bunch of these boys are going to get up positions. Monza's up 5 positions from where he started. Nigel's down 13. He's had an absolute shocking run. So very unfortunate for him. Other than that, we want the tyre. Everyone is on to the hards now, except Monza because he did the alternative strat. As we also have Ghost Rider into the pits, and we also have Aussie into the pits, zooming back onto another set of hards to the end. As I'm assuming someone's going to want a safety car here. As we're going to jump up to how Monza's doing, because he's on the best tyres here. Coming into this top 5, he's on the meds. And his plan will be here to try push up but from the top 4, the top 3 are kind of just in their own little battle pack there. And so I'm pretty sure that's Nigel that's in the way there. So Aussie gets past Bevo there. So as much as Monza can catch his teammate as his teammate goes into pits, and so does Cash Smash. No, Botanical. Botanical gets a 10 second speeding into pit lane. Shocking. Oh. Apologies, I'm currently melting. It's 1,000,000 degrees in my room. Perks of living in Queensland. So lap 19 of 20. Sorry, of 27. And I'm pretty sure... upcoming this week in the racing scene, I know we have obviously we've got tomorrow night, we've got tier 3 Wednesday, Tier 3 in tomorrow night here. We've got the Red Bull checked in, we've got the Ferrari checked in, we've got the McLaren checked in, we've got one of the Aston checked in, one of the Alpine checked in, one of the Haas checked in, and one of the RB checked in, and we've got 3 reserves checked in. So it should be quite an exciting, another impactful Tier 3 grid. And then on where is it? The AUSF1 is coming up this Thursday for round 4 for the Oceania Formula 1 Formula Invitational Cup at Imola. So very exciting. Going to be interesting one. Imola's a good track to race at. As holy skill issue, Monza, holy skill issue. If we're gonna jump on board up, I'm just like yapping away, and all I hear into tire screech, look up, and I just see a McLaren sideways around the final corner. Bloody Tokyo Drift up in here. No, it's not Tokyo Drift, it's Italian Drift. Mamma mia! Lorenzo's on the back of Cashmash here. So the customer team against the what is it, company team, or the what is it, the production team versus the customer team. And Lorenzo's gonna think about getting up the inside here of Cashmash into Oscari. I feel like he's a bit too far back. What's happening up in the top? Nothing's happening. I'm assuming we're gonna get past Stiller. Maybe not. And if there is a safety car to happen, it will have to happen within the next 2 laps. I think last night in Tier 1, the safety car came out lap 23, went in lap 25, the end of lap 25. So we had 2 laps of racing, 26 and 27. So this lap or next lap for a safety car, or we can have a safety car on lap 25. It would just come in at the end of 25. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you do 26, 27. And at the back there, we do seem to have, I think it's the other McLaren, the one that's not been a skill issue. And I should still be talking. Yeah, I'm still talking. Lap 23 of 27, Botanical with another 3-second time penalty. Anything really, don't really see anything happening about. Lap 24. Battle is still going on. I feel like Lorenzo's about to make a move here. He's so close. Nearly every lap he's been so close. Ghost Rider, Bevo, Ghost Rider, Bevo. To move away from it, Botanical gets past A-Dog. Bevo gets past Ghost Rider, so they were the two battling, Ghost Rider and Bevo. Simo is just on the back of his teammate. He seems to be a little bit off. He'll get the DRS, and these McLaren boys, Aston Martin boys, are just running away with it. Out in front, we're going to give some love to the boys at the back here. We haven't really spoken to much about them because there's nothing really been happening. But Bevel in P12, Scotty Ghost Rider in P13. We've got Lemma in P14, Nigel in P15. He come into the pits for, I'm assuming, a set of softs. Serve a bunch of penalties and a set of softs. I'm assuming a set of softs. We're just going to wait to confirm this. No, a set of mediums. Right, mediums to the end. Yep, fair enough. Anything happening? We've got Lorenzo. Again, just Lorenzo being botanical. Anything happening here between? Yeah, might move happen down the straight here. Anything behind them happening? Don't feel like they're too close enough. In the beach. Lorenzo with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So the person that I called a skill issue and we tried to put the comms curse on hasn't really worked. Because he kind of pulled a giga strat here. And you know what? Good on him. As much as I hate to admit it, good on him. He did the alternative strat and it paid off. He was able to jump half the field. So, fair play to him. Lap 26 of 27. The two Astons leading out in front, 1 and 2, with Seb in P3, Monza P4, Cashmash P5, Lorenzo P6, Aussie teammate P7, Void got in the hottie, moves up into P9, late, can he get up into P8? Can he make a good move up into P8? Can it happen? Can it be done? Or will he be pushed back down to P10? And then we have A-Dog in P11, Ghost Rider P12, Slammer P13, Bevo P14, and Nigel P5. And we're going to jump up with Lorenzo. Actually, no. Let's go to this P9, P8 battle. It seems like the Botanical drops off the back of Scotty quite quickly. Bit of a boat. Bit of a boat. Nigel gets the fastest lap. Well, he did just pit for fresh tyres. So no shit he would have the fastest lap. Head loss. Complete head loss, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when a man doesn't use his brain. To be fair, I very rarely use my brain. So, like, it does not surprise me. But we're going to jump on board to the top two here because they're about to come home. And Dilla gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So, what a boat. Leading all this race, got pole, XYZ, absolutely, you know, go to strat, and then gets slaps himself with a 3-second time penalty. So Simo will win. as to team order so Timo can get it done on track. So Timo from Zilla to the Astons 1 and 2, and Mr. Sebastian King here will come home in P3. Jumping in for the Red Bulls, Monza P4, Cashmash P5. As he comes to the line, Lorenzo gonna try, and then Lorenzo P6, Aussie P7, 6-7 for the Ferraris. I had to make it. I had to. And the McLaren comes home in P8, Scotty the Hottie in P9, the other Red Bull in P10, Ghost Rider P11, Slammer moves up to P11, Bevo will come home in P13, and then Botanical, and did Bevo. Ooh. So, Red Bulls 1 and 2 from the Astons 1 and 2. Simo, Zilla, Seb is your podium. Celebrations all around for the team at Aston Martin. They continue to dominate the overall and the Tier 2 standings. And you know what this season reminds me of? It reminds me of the 2022 F1 season, where Ferrari had somewhat of a fight to the Red Bulls, and then they just dropped off mid-season, and then Red Bull continued to dominate. Because that's what's happened here. Aston Martin and Red Bulls had a great fight at the beginning of the season, and then Aston Martin have they put the rocket ship and run away with it. Just rocket ship things. Fine. Gonna jump over to podium interviews. And give me 2 seconds. You know, we're just gonna do it. Our third place sitter is already in here. Seb, mate, you with me?
I am. How are you, good sir?
I'm doing good. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, look, exciting start. A bit of action at turn one, kind of always happens at Monza, and you know that causes cars to get away with us, and people didn't really want to work together, and then we just kind of had laid on there a bit of tire wear issues. Maybe if we did better on the tires, we could have got one of the Astons at the end there. But look, I'm stoked with the podium. Just trying to prove to my boys that you rock up every week, anything can happen. We're just trying to fight hard against those Astons. I don't know. They just ran off together, and well, yeah, not so much sure I want to say on that, to be honest.
Yeah, look, fair enough. Those Aston boys, pretty much, yeah, they dominated from the start of qualifying, really, and did what they do best. They worked together. Simo got up there, and then the boys just took away with the race. Speaking in the championship, the Constructors' Championship, obviously you filled in here for Red Bull tonight because one of the other Red Bulls weren't there. How do you think the Red Bull boys are still in with a chance here, or do you think the Astons have just run away with it?
Look, I don't want to speak too down on it. It's not as much as I think Aston have run away with it. I think we've kind of more let them get away. It's pretty disappointing. Lads not turning up. Life gets in the way. Like I understand that. But yeah, just a few times that we let them slip away. We don't take our opportunities. And look, I think more than anything, I have to be, proud of our efforts. Our team was gutted, at the start. We've we've had to swap drivers, different drivers moving tiers up and down throughout the field. And to stay as, on top of the championship as we have been, I'm more than proud of our efforts. I do think it is slowly getting out of our grasp. I think the next couple of weeks will be really crucial. And I'll just try and make sure that, the boys get onto it. But, 150 point gap is hard in any form of racing. Unfortunately, we don't have the real life Max Verstappen to come and chase down another team for us.
Yep. All right, well, congratulations on your podium for the Red Bulls tonight. We'll move up into P2 Zilla. Congratulations, you had a great qualifying and pretty much a good race. Once Simo got up behind you, you boys just ran away with it. But then you absolute donkey got a 3-second time penalty on the last corner, on the last lap, coming out of the Ferrari.
Yeah, I ran out of fuel. So
you ran out of fuel! Because I'm assuming you were expecting a safety car at one point tonight.
Well, I overfueled by 0.10, so I thought I would have been able to claw back enough. But yeah, like I tried to fuel save while I had like that 3 or 4 second gap, but yeah, it just wasn't possible. It just kept coming back worse than what it was before. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but I just wasn't getting fuel back. And then once Simo got on my DRS, it was just like the pressure from him, not able to save DRS.
Yep.
And then, I made that mistake into that final chicane. Got the 3 second, but he would have passed me anyway because I had no fuel.
Yeah,
so,
yep.
Yeah.
I guess you were quite thankful that you had the, what was it, I think of like a 13-second gap back to Seb there.
Yeah, surprising. Like, I've done a lot of laps at Monza, so, like, naturally, pace is going to be there, but I was surprised the field spread is what it was tonight with those guys, but that's just the way it goes, I guess, when you put in a ton of practice for a particular track.
Yeah, that's definitely what happened. The field spread, I was expecting a bit more carnage. So I was expecting there at least to be like a VST or a one safety car, kind of in the beginning there to tighten the pack up. But I guess really after the first pit stops, you two just ran away with it. If you guys go back and watch stream, you'll see I touched on you guys for a bit there, but then you guys, just ran away with the race. So congratulations to you. Speaking in the constructors, obviously you guys have the fight with Red Bull, but from the dominant performance from both of you tonight, are you boys confident going into next week, and just you guys think you've got good handles on this championship?
Yeah, I think like we've just been super consistent. Like particularly the last few rounds, we've got an awful lot of points from the two enduros, like me winning Spain, Simo winning Abu Dhabi enduro, so double points there. We've just raked in a ton of points over the last like sort of 5 rounds. But yeah, Mexico next, not a good track, to be honest at all. I don't think anyone really likes Mexico, but yeah, we'll go into it with a bit of prep and see how we go.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your podium. We'll move up to Simo. Congratulations. Nice win there. Obviously, your teammate ran out of fuel, but he also had a free team, so you wouldn't have gotten it anyway. Talk us through that one. You came in a bit late during qualifying and had an absolutely storming race.
Came straight home from cricket training and jumped in. But luckily I managed to reserve last night, which I didn't actually have to do any sort of practice tonight on most of the laps last night. So I felt alright. I probably qualified a bit further down than what I wanted to, but I could just take my time and try and get sort of a car lap at the start, so I could start getting on the back of Zilla, which luckily he was trying to fuel save and my fuel saving was working quite well, so it made it quite easy in the end.
I guess it would have made it quite easy. Obviously, with having you two, once you kind of got up there with him, you boys just ran away with it. Were you guys, I'm assuming you guys were in a chat together just communicating, because But by the time you boys got together, I kind of looked at it and I was like, yep, these Astons have got this race from here. One of the two of them going to win.
Yeah, definitely. Since I was the car behind, so I tried to make sure before I actually caught up to Zilla that I tried to get rid of the DRS whoever was behind me at the time. I'm not sure if it was Aussie 2K at one stage, but so I just thought if it, at least get out of DRS, and then once I got into Zilla's DRS, I sort of just used him and just kept the car for the last lap because I knew his fuel wasn't that good, and I had a slightly fresher tyre as well, so that worked to my advantage.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your win, and good luck going forward into Mexico next week.
Thank you very much.
Rightio, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Tier 2 here at Monza. Tomorrow night, the action from 7:30 for Tier 3 will continue, and then next Monday, the Tier 1 boys will head off for Mexico, and then followed by Tier 2 on the Tuesday, and then Tier 3 on the Wednesday. But for now, this has been another quality stream by yours truly. Have a good night.